8 ways to gauge your marketing ROI. And of course, ROI is return on investment. Hopefully you know that. Hello, it's John, it's the Marketing for Owners podcast. I'm speaking a bit faster because it's actually raining, so I'm wearing a coat. And you think, but John, why would you record this outside if it's raining? Well, because it always rains in England, and I assume it's going to stop raining soon, and it's just nicer outside. Now, as we near the end of May on a rainy Monday, we've been covering about metrics and measurements and things like that, because it's incredibly important that whatever you do, you measure it, that you know what you did. And that's what it's all about. It's the what question of the 5 questions. What did we do? You can do all sorts of stuff. You can put lots of effort in, work, etc. But if you don't measure it, if you don't know what you did, what you achieved, what you didn't achieve, how far you got towards goals, what is the point? So I'm going to talk really about 8 ways to gauge your marketing ROI. You can measure all sorts of things, but here is a bunch. Now, of course, we are really talking about an online business. A business that utilizes the internet, utilizes a website for its advantage. You may have a store, you may have a business that isn't really using it to your advantage. Well, you're missing out. You might think, yeah, it doesn't really apply to me. You, my friend, are missing the point completely. What that shows, and I'm sorry to be blunt, what that shows is a complete misunderstanding of what it's for. You just think, well, website's going to cost a fortune, won't do anything, because you have no interest in learning about what it is for and how to use it. And hey, that's fine for the rest of us and your competitors and everyone else, because it's not that big a deal. It doesn't cost a few thousand quid. It costs like 100 quid or so. You can learn all this in the Owners Club, which currently is £29 per month. You could join for 1 month, not like it, leave, or and get your money back. Or you could join for 1 month, see the roadmap, see the steps to go through it, and think, gosh, that's not hard. Or you might think, I don't want to do it, but I tell you what, Mandy is great at this kind of stuff. Let me show her. She may want to do it. Remember, it's not all about you. Do you think Richard Branson does all the kind of little admin things that you're doing? Does he think, oh no, I have to do that. I can't give that to any of my staff. No? What about Sergey and Larry Brin at Google? What about Elon Musk at Tesla? Runs 3 businesses, like launches space rockets and all that. Do you think he opens a post? Do you think he has to check the accounts because he's the only one who knows how? So please get over yourself. If you want to advance, if you want to be around, you don't have to grow your business to be some super duper thing. You can say, it's been around for 20 years. What does this guy know? My business is different. All that. Heard it all before, not just me. Anyway, good luck with that approach. But you could carry on listening. Why am I messing up my hair? Don't know. And for those of you, by the way, not watching the video, don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's get back on the subject. Stop getting off subject, John. So, 8 ways to gauge your marketing ROI. Number 1, visits. Visits to your website. Now, you will pick virtually all this up from Google Analytics. Google Analytics is free. I mean, if you just go back and listen to the other short episodes in this, short episodes are the Monday, the Tuesday, and the Thursday episodes, okay? Short meaning just 10 minutes. The other 2 are longer interviews that are 35, 40 minutes. So visits. You need to know how many people are visiting your website, because no matter what happens, if you're marketing effectively, you will have more people coming. So if you're trying to increase your marketing, your visitors should be rising. Now, of course, they may not be as targeted as you want, they might not be quality, but it has to be rising. Trust me. Number 2, repeat visits. Now, it's all well and good having someone come along, but if they're not interested, they're not coming back. So it is extremely important to measure an increase in repeat visitors, because those people come back because they choose to come back. That means they are more engaged than the one-time visitors. those are the ones you want to know about. And if you're increasing repeat visitors, because on most people's sites, 20-30% of their visitors will be repeat. But if you get them 40, 50, or that's going up, that's good. So measure it. Number 3, channel specific visits. So there are various channels. There is social media, there's pay-per-click, there's your blog, there may be your podcast and so on. They're not all the same. Measure them differently, record them. And when I say measure, just record these on a spreadsheet. You can record them once a week, once a month, probably once a month is fine. Just write down the number. Get someone in your staff to go in and get the number, put them in the spreadsheet. Is that, what's that, 1 minute, 30 seconds? Yeah, stop with the excuses. Next one, on a different bit, conversion rate. Now, conversion rate, that means for every 100 people who visit your website, how many of them do take an action that you want them to take? For example, that may be to make a purchase. That's the most obvious one. But if you're not selling online, the second one should be to opt into your list, your lead magnet, whatever, to get onto your mailing list so that you can market to them and try and encourage them to become a client over time. That is a conversion rate. So if for every 100 people that visit, three sign up, that's a 3% conversion rate. Google will measure that. If you don't know how, again, contract somebody on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever to set up a goal for you. Tell them what you want to measure. For people who do this, it's really simple, really simple. Next one, you want to measure the bounce rate. Bounce rate is quite simply, people come to your website, they don't particularly like what they see, they leave. So you see a result in Google, you go to that website, you think, nah. You go back to Google, you backspace. That's a bounce. That's not good. Google knows how long from that click to your website, how long they stayed there and how long they came back. It's going to measure that. It's going to say, that's not a very good site, that's not very relevant, or maybe I won't put that up as a result next time. Measure that bounce rate, try and get that to reduce over time. By the way, most people's bounce rates are extremely high. Don't worry if it is 60 or 70%. It's quite common. Next one, client retention. And by the way, I did say conversion rate. That could be for every 10 sales calls, how many become an appointment? For every 10 appointments, how many become a client? Those are all conversion rates. Those are things you can measure and then try to improve. Once you can measure, you can improve. Client retention, churn, whatever you want to say. How long do they stay? So that's lifetime value and things like that. So if you have a repeating monthly thing, I don't know, say you're a mobile phone company. No, I know you're not. Or if you are, hello, nice of you to be here. But say you're a monthly phone company, they will have what's called churn rate. How many people don't stay? And quite simply, say if we're in May, are we? On the beginning of May, you say how many customers you've got. At the end of May, you see, at the beginning of June, see how many customers you got. Beginning of July, how many customers have you got? And then you can figure out churn rate. You can figure out how many new ones are added in that period, and then you can figure out your churn rates. It's just, anyway, you'll figure it out. If you're not good with maths, ask somebody who is. Honestly, don't be shy. How about your lead to close rate? And again, a conversion thing. So if you're going to get a lead, do you then convert them into a customer? You can measure that. You should measure it, and you want to improve it. And finally, your cost per lead. So if you are spending a certain amount on advertising or whatever, or putting time, measure. Don't forget to cost your time. How many leads does that get? So measure, so you know how many leads you'll get for how much expenditure. Because if you're doing really well, you might think, well, if I spend double, will I get double the leads? Could we get that much? Oh, I only need to spend half as much because I can't cope with that many, etc., etc. There you go. Hopefully that gives you something to think about. If you can measure all 8, fantastic. If you can measure some, brilliant. We've all got to start somewhere. I know I've been going on for nearly 10 minutes, so it is a Monday. It's time for book for the week. Good one, this. It is called Peak. It is by a gentleman called Chip Conley. Peak, P-E-A-K. Google it, go to Amazon, wherever, Audible, look it up, your favourite thing. It is an excellent book, extremely popular because it is good. Look at the reviews. I enjoyed it, you'll enjoy it too. I'll be back tomorrow.